Okay, now I'm recording. There we go. Let's continue. Let's go. Time for part 2 of this beautiful run. First things first is going to be White Lady. With White Lady, there is really only one thing that is special, and that is the script on her is not perfect. The script on her is not perfect, and she will sometimes survive. And when that happens, it happens, and you have to be ready for it. First things first, we do use our 1 quartz we just got to get staggered duration in here. No, charge stagger attack 2, this one right here. Hey, Cirrus. We don't have any more quartz right now, so that's all we can get. We must talk to him, just to trigger that we can talk to Lady Antonia. Get the key. Now, remember to sit at the Stargazer to refresh your Thorvalds. We still have enough from what we bought before. I refresh this. I also unequip both this and this. We don't need the Concubine Amulet. That's the only reason why I unequip that. And I unequip the Glaive to be ready in terms of speed when we're about to run to past some enemies. Because when we enter Rosa Isabel Street, there is 2 enemies that we are going to pull with a puppet string. Because one of them, even if you run past him, can sometimes hit you. It's a rare, but it can happen, which is why I started just puppet stringing her away. The second one is the puppet that crashes through the window that like jumps at you and explodes. That one you have to puppet string away to like reload basically its explosion. So when it starts its sequence to be about to jump at you and like explode, and you puppet string it, her animation stops and she has to restart it from the entire start. And that way you prevent getting hit by her. Hey, Chaos. First, we can just sprint through here. This is all fine. This guy cannot hit us, just like usual. You can always sprint past these guys. Here. This is the first one. Where? Okay. Sometimes this one cannot load. That can happen. That's a bug that can happen, which is very terrifying every single time it happens. But here we are. We need to strafe this guy's shots. No, he can't really get to us anymore. No, we're fine. My game is bugging like hell. Thank you for the lurk, Chaos. Okay, now we re-equip our Glaive. We discharge our pulse cell, very important. I do still have the grind already, which I will use and immediately investigate. We drop both of these. Discharge 1, 2. There we go. So, the clue with her is the 2 canisters we backstab. R2, fully charged, Fabial Art. Then we puppet string her close to us because then she has like a kind of mini stagger on her and we can safely throw the shot put right into her face to get the full stagger off. We use a pulse cell to just discharge it for the second half of the fight. We consume 2 Fable Catalysts to be able to do a Fable Art again. And then we do a charge R2 to get some chip damage in. And we leave a post, R2 again. And then we do the Fable Art, and that can sometimes kill her. It's not guaranteed. Sometimes she likes to jump out of the last bit of it, and when that happens, I usually like spam immediately throw shot puts to hopefully get her. It's not 100%. That's the thing. I have tried everything on El10 with this fight, and there is no way to make it truly 100% consistent. It's just not possible, unfortunately. Have good luck in Valorant, Eve. Thank you for lurking. I really have tried everything, but there is no way to make it 100% consistent. Now, the next boss coming up, I just leave back to the hotel here to refresh my Fable, just so I don't have to spam Fable Catalysts, because we're gonna need full Fable for this. The next boss we're gonna be fighting is the Mad Clown Puppet. For the Mad Clown Puppet, there's really only one thing you need to know. And that is, after every heavy Fable parry, you do an uncharged R2. Every single time. Unless he's full staggered. When he's full staggered, you do a fully charged R2, riposte, another fully charged R2, and if he's not dead yet, you back up and continue the main loop of the boss, because the boss's AI can actually be cheesed in a way. He usually locks in a move every single time after he like recovers from the last move, or recovers from being hit or a stagger or whatever, which depends on your distance, which can either be him spinning his arm and just, you know, yeeting that at you, or he walks towards you, does a close combat combo if you are too close, or his belly flop for mid distance and stuff. This, however, can be circumvented by just tapping the grinder. With the grinder, I mean the one that we use to buff a weapon usually, or to repair a weapon. By just tapping it once while you are at a certain distance, and you just need a little bit of distance, you'll be fine. By just tapping it once, it immediately just clears his queue of what he wants to do, and he immediately always does the Fury Attack Punch every single time, as long as you're at a good distance. And that way we can always just keep looping the Fury Attack Punch, which we can safely Fable heavy parry forwards into him, and we can kill him pretty quickly. If you mess it up, you are in a world of pain, but it is something that you can get used to fairly quickly. So, I do equip this amulet. I don't equip this amulet yet because it makes me heavy, as you can see at the top, and I don't want to be slightly heavy yet. I also don't discharge it. I do use one carcass bottle right here on this guy, and I will use a second one in the sewers in just a second. These guys you can spin past, it'll be fine. But there's one that can sometimes really block your path, and when that happens, guy, for that reason, I do this. When you can drop a favorite cast. Then I hug this wall right here and wait for this girl to come into view. We puppet string her, and immediately sprint past, going up the ladder, because she will be doing some move against the wall, we'll be fine. Now I slowly clear out these. You don't actually have to do this. I prefer to do it, so that's why I do it. This one can sometimes see you if her cycle is bad, and then she can creep up on your back, and I prefer to not risk it, so I just kill her early. This one over here can also sometimes see you, but you can have her in your view, so you'll usually be fine. Now we do grab this one. And now we bait out one shot from this guy up here and then immediately run. I always keep an eye on behind me here because sometimes he walks out and then shoots at you from behind. This time he didn't. It is a very timing specific thing if he does turn around again at the top. So, yeah. It is just something to keep in mind. We pick up this Dark Moon Moonstone of the Covenant because we will need it to get +3 when we enter the Grand Exhibition. Now, if you want, you can discharge. And we get our shot put ready here. Because when we reach the Mad-Clown Puppet at the top, we throw a shot put into his face to give him a mini stagger. You can't just run through the middle. I always throw it when I'm at the bottom of these stairs, and we run all the way up. All the way up. You might want to equip your amulet beforehand. I did a bit late here, my bad. There is the thing. You always discharge when you can. Now it's a stagger. We do full HHR 2. Riposte. Oops, I forgot I was charged. No, I need to use one here. Sometimes when you're too slow, you don't deal enough damage, or if the damage range just fucks you, you will not have enough, so you have to use one Fatal Catalyst, which was the case here. Mostly also what happened is that my weapon wasn't actually fully repaired at the start. I forgot to do that beforehand. When you repair your weapon before, you will have the initial damage being a little bit higher, so that will help to not have to do an extra parry there at the end, which I had to do. Now, can I unequip this one again to be light? Also pick up the electric abrasive that you saw me pick up. If you want it. It's not necessary, but I like having it. I puppet string this one. And then I usually unequip my weapon. I'm gonna pick up another Dark Moonstone right here. It's important that we sprint around these guys, that we don't get too close, because otherwise they can actually get you. Go between here. I refresh my stamina here usually, and then I sprint past this one. Her scream does not actually hurt. It's just a status effect increase, and as long as it doesn't fully trigger, it doesn't count as a hit. We grab ourselves our technique amulet. It's actually important that you immediately start running again, because she will follow you down the stairs and can sometimes block the entrance if you take too long, if you like decide to equip the technique amulet or something. So that's something to be aware of. We open this door for later. We drop down here. There's one saw blade that we will use late in the run. And another quartz. We can also equip our weapon now. And the technique amulet, just for the moment. Make sure our weapon is full. Now again, just like last time, we discharge right here. I buff, and now I always do a sprint heavy and a heavy. Where you can kill all three. Make sure to watch your stamina. And we got the Vanini collection. And now we go back to the hotel to use our extra quartz we have to also buy the stuff that we can get from the Vanini collection and overall prepare for Romeo. Because we already opened the door. We can just go through the center, we're fine. And Romeo is different now. He used to be a lot, well, not a lot easier, but he used to be a little bit easier back on the old patch. He's not the same anymore, unfortunately. Because now when he is low health, he will not always immediately flame dance. I'm only talking about his phase 2 here. Now he actually can just do a normal move first, which is why we differ a little bit from the script that you might have seen if you've watched, for example, Moratna's EL10 run, or if you watched other EL10 runs that are pre-DLC patch. They just finish him off with charge attacks. I kill him now with carcass bottles and the thoric cells at the very end of his fight. So the essential things that we do need are a electric abrasive in our belt, a cluster grenade, thoric cells, and carcass body fluid bottles. I have my shot puts down here for one specific reason, and that's because piano. This just makes it easier for me to throw the shot puts immediately after I throw the thoric cells, so that I don't have delay between them. You will probably like have all of them on the extra bag and just like hold this button and then I click the different ones. I just don't do that because it's less convenient for my control scheme. But it's important that you have them on a very fast dial up, basically. Hey Ryan, hello. So what we need to do when we fight Romeo is when we go into the fight, we are going to buff our weapon with the electric abrasive like we always have. And we are going to discharge our pulse cell beforehand. And we are trying to bait out a certain move where he punches down on the floor. Every other move that he does until then, we can just dodge. And we've always punished that punch down move with a heavy Fable Art. You can sometimes do 2 of those in a row. Don't worry, you have the time to Fable parry the second one. And with a heavy Fable punish, just the same. After you get the second one in, you want to do a charged heavy attack, like fully charged. And then, what I do for the perfect distances, I tap the dodge button 3 times to get to a specific distance. And then I throw every single one of my cluster grenades. And I throw a shot put. Then he will be fully staggered. And we can discharge our pulse cell. And we can also refresh our Fable so that it's back to full. It's important that it's full. Then I use an electric abrasive, which is faster than the electric grindstone, which is very important here because it is very timing focused. You can use some of these items while you're already walking towards him to his repulse spot, which is something I would strongly recommend to do. I usually mostly do it when I use my abrasive. Yeah, we use the abrasive, we'll post him, and do another R2, which would usually kill him. There are some damage ranges where it doesn't kill him, and you will have to do either a light attack or a follow-up uncharge R2. And then we will go into phase 2. And in phase 2, the very first thing you do is immediately throw a shot put while locking onto him. And we throw 5 throwing cells. We do not move forward. We stay completely still while we do this. It's very important. We throw 5 throwing cells. He will jump at us, and we always do a forwards leaning, very important, heavy Fable parry, and a light attack. Don't do a heavy attack. I mean, like, wait, no, what did I do? No, like, do I do a light attack or do a heavy? Wait. What do I do, actually? Wait, no, I do an uncharged heavy, right? Yeah, I do an uncharged heavy. Yeah, do an uncharged heavy. And then we immediately do Fable Art. Do we do light attack? Actually, I'm not sure right now what I do. It's so muscle memory. I'm pretty sure it's a light attack. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a light attack after the heavy Fable. We'll see. I'll just let my muscle memory play out, and I'll talk about it after. We do the heavy, we do the Fable Art, which will full stagger him, and we can use, we can discharge our pulse cell. That's all we are going to do. Like if our pulse cell is, no wait, our pulse cell shouldn't be charged at that point, right? No, it will be charged, yeah. And we do an R2. We riposte him. Like we do a fully charged R2, we riposte him. Then you back away and you throw your throwables. Your throwing cells and carcass bottles. It's, you cannot do Q and R2 after riposting him because he gets thrown way too far away. With most enemies, you can always like Q and R2 because of their getting up animation. With Romeo, you unfortunately can't. What you can do is you can do a sprint R2 and then back away. That is something you can do. All right, now we get lowest stamina consumption with discharge. And we also get, which is very important, weapon attack when discharged +2. Because otherwise the damage will not be enough. We also equip, of course, our Conquering Amulet again. Oh yeah, right, and we want to grab from Vanini right here, from Puccino, I mean. We get the we get an amulet and the acid grindstone. We get this, and we get the Carcass Butcher's amulet. It's everything we buy for Pulcinella for the rest of the run. We don't need anything else. This Carcass amulet only really helps with, well, technically not that many bosses. It helps with Swamp Monster a lot, and it helps with one mini boss in the Cross Infestation. Return to it later, but and also there was one other thing. Oh yeah, right, and with Door Guardian, but Door Guardian is kind of a joke. So. Now before we do Romeo, I actually need to pee. Sorry. Alright. Let's do this. Why is my piano so loud, dude? Let me lower the volume a little bit. It's really annoying. There we go. And again, I discharged beforehand. We can sprint through. This one will not, like, reach us. There you go. I am ready on the cluster grenades. Now we buff. Let's see what he does. This one you dodge. I did this a bit wrong. If you couldn't tell, I don't know why I just failed Catalyst, my bad. Yeah, that was bad. I did this incorrectly. I don't know why I did it like this. I did this completely incorrectly. I just completely mistyped there. Alright. At least this run is dead now, so I don't need to worry about it anymore. That's the good part. Because I was a bit worried because this run was still live and I haven't gotten this full run yet. Okay, I'm just gonna load a save state. And now I can load my Wii mod as well. Okay. Yeah, let's do it again. All right. There we go. We have everything the same way, or we should at least. Discharge, we go in. So again. I don't know what put it. I think it's because it's just the Fable Light and not the Fable Heavy. I don't know why. It's just a misinput. There we go. That's how it's supposed to go when you do it properly. Yeah, we do a heavy Fable, and then we follow up with a light attack, and then we do the Fable Art. That is the order of business.
Incredible! You defeated the king. I gotta thank the
I don't know why completely.
too, right?
I don't know why I completely choked that.
Yeah. Let's go backstage.
I keep myself discharged here and unequip my weapon, and also unequip the Conquering Amulet. There's one specific little audio cue you can use here. We pick up this Ergo Fragment and this Cluster Grenade as an extra. Now, Gemini's gonna start talking here.
What's going on?
If we sprint through all the way...
Their king dead.
Why can I not turn my camera properly?
Lost.
And I stand here,
Again, maybe.
and we can wait until he says sockets.
It's like they can't tell their elbow joints from their tail sockets.
And now we can sprint towards this one because the others will lift the aggro. I timed this many times, and I know it's consistent. As long as you do sprint to that point and wait for that word, you're fine. And there's just one extra thermite that you don't have to buy. Here we sprint to the back of this guy and around him. You don't have to pick up the shiny here, but it's a really good like location indicator of where you need to run. And hugging this side. Make sure you have good stamina. Grab this, one R2 and an R1. Nothing charged, just completely uncharged attacks. We get some extra ergo here, and we also get another saw blade that we'll use. Now I usually switch this in here. You wait for a punch before you grab him, because otherwise you might miss. Because she always does an extra punch after breaking out of the window, so you wait for that before you grab. And as always, just one R2 and one R1, and we'll always kill them. I need to put my pocket watch back into my bar here. I will not be able to use it in a moment, but it's going to be very important to use it at the correct timing. I also believe, yeah, I don't have a lot of Fable Catalysts on this save state specifically, so we will have to buy some. We'll do that in a second. First, we don't have that way, we head this way. And we need to pick up the key at the end of this corridor, and we immediately use the pocket watch to go back to a hotel or leave a Stargazer. This depends on how many Fable Catalysts you have, because you do need to have enough for the section. I usually just go back to the hotel because I need to refresh my Fable anyway. Pick it up, and we immediately do Hotel Stargazer. Because this guy, yes, he's going to punch at you, but he actually cannot hit you because you will already be far enough into the animation that you are invulnerable. Let me just close this. This is annoying. Let's go. We're going to refresh our Fable. And again, I'm gonna buy some extra Fable Catalysts just because I don't have them on this save state specifically. I'm just gonna buy like 8. No, that's by 10. There's one thing I wanted to check because I'm not 100% sure on the save state right now. I'm gonna check my P organ real quick if it's correct. Just because I'm not sure about the save state specifically. It's only the Romeo one because sometimes there were damage issues. And I don't remember if... Nope, okay, it's the exact same. We're good. Alright, now what we are going to need is we are going to need our fire abrasive and our grinder electric. We're going to need basically every single throwable. Not really, we might primarily just going to need thermite, and we're going to need shot puts. We're not going to need cluster grenades, but I equip them usually anyway. Oh, and what's very important is that you, at this point in the run, this is the latest point where you should be modifying this to trace. Okay, the save state does not have that, so good thing I checked. You need to have the trace on your puppet string. If you don't have it, you're fucked. Let's go back to the Lorenzini Arcade. Now there is a carcass walker that you can see in the path we're going to go to. If you run him fast enough, he doesn't start his walking animation yet, and you can throw a thermite at him immediately. Because our goal is we hit him with 1 and we wait for about 510 damage to be ticked up, and then we puppet string him to kill him. That guy right there. There we go. Now you will walk towards us, because usually he idles back and forth. We can avoid this. Now he's over like 510, he's at 520-ish, and this kills him. This one is going to jump out when we go over here. Again, we wait for 1 punch, and then we puppet string. And I just realized I didn't fucking equip my weapon. My bad. I forgot to equip my weapon, my bad. Ignore that. I completely forgot to equip that. Now, we are going to walk into this corner that is above my helmet. Like above the red tip of my hat. And when we walk into this corner, the one out of that window is going to jump out. And we can immediately charge at R2 and we hit the corner. And then lock onto him mid-animation and insta-kill him. There we go. This one you don't have to kill. I like to kill him with just a sprinting R2 and an R2. We still have not discharged our weapon, discharged our pulse cell, as you can see, which is important. We don't discharge it yet. Now we sprint to this guy here. Immediately do a sprint R2 and an R2. Then we puppet string this guy. We throw 2 of these at this one. Very important now. We do have to repair our weapon. We now discharge. We have a shot put and our thermite ready. Pick up this item. We buff with fire abrasive. We throw 1 thermite. Very important. We throw thermite. This. Okay, that can still sometimes happen if you're extremely unlucky. So the order of actions there was, you throw 1 thermite, you throw 1 shot put. You use the trace puppet string, which means that you hold the Legion arm button to pull yourself towards him. You do a light attack, the Fable Art, and then do charged R2s, 2 specifically. Usually that will kill him. On very, very, very rare occasions, it won't. It's very rare, but it can happen. It's a very small percentage of damage that will just not kill him. Now, we can discharge immediately again because we're actually not going to attack any more enemies for a little while. And I also usually unequip this. And we can also consume at least 2 Fable Catalysts. I consume 3 usually, but because I like to be at full. My game just fucking froze. That's hilarious. We sprint past this guy. Now we're gonna grab another Moonstone. You walk behind the back of this guy so he has to turn. And it's important to keep walking while you pick up this one, or the thing dropping from the ceiling is going to hit you. And when you walk into this doorway, we roll immediately into this girl, so we can then run past her. Now, we buy all the fire abrasives and all the thermite. You don't technically need all the fire abrasives, I just buy all of them anyway. So now same thing as with the other one. We just throw 1 thermite at this guy, and then I'll re-equip my weapon. I can also change this to puppet. Well, puppet string is dead. We do need the puppet damage now because we're going to fight the Jester puppet in the basement. Again, I usually go for full Fable here. And the only thing we'll need is shot puts and our weapon. And our grindstone, our electric grindstone, which we equipped. This girl can sometimes throw at you at bad angles, so be prepared. These guys, if you walk to the right of them, right here, they are not able to hit you. Just go all the way through. It's important that you make sure that you are discharged, which I already did in the wine cellar after we killed the other guy. And you need to be full durability as well. So, we're probably fully stacked. And now before we trigger his spawn, I use this to get the electric off. We do immediately an R2. Oh, I did one too many, my bad. Okay, yeah, we do it immediately fully charged R2. We do a Fable Art. We throw 2 shot puts at him to full stagger him to a charge R2 and a riposte and another charge R2, and you will be dead. I accidentally wasted a shot put here, which is unfortunate, but that's just how things goes, you know. These guys, again, you can sprint past them. Just don't sprint, like, just make a small arc around that guy. If you make it too close, he can sometimes hit you. I've had it happen. When I get, like, slightly caught on the edge of the doorway, it can happen. So do be careful with that. Now, here is a segment where it's extremely crucial that you do have your pulse cell discharged. It's important that it's discharged. If it's not discharged, then discharge it right now, as you'll need a lot of stamina in a moment, because there's going to be 2 dogs chasing you. One dog is just ahead in this area behind the yellow thing. So you can refresh your stamina here, and now you start sprinting. And don't stop under any circumstances. You run to the left of this man. If we're not discharged, we're not going to have enough stamina to sprint all the way, and sometimes one of the dogs can catch up to you. Up these stairs at this point, he won't be able to anymore, but you want to have your pulse discharge just for the stamina usage alone. Now here, you can usually just go ahead and use up a lot of your extra ergo you found. Actually, like, do I have like a... Ooh, like I have a lot of extra ones in this. Oh, didn't realize. Okay, so this one has bought a lot more ahead of time. The save state specifically. We can drop down here. I know I take damage right now because I have no death on, but You will not take enough damage to die, so don't worry about it. Alright, no, you don't need to do that. You pick up this, and we go back to the hotel, which is actually crucial, because the next phone is going to appear, and we need to go back to the hotel at least once. I'm not 100% sure if you actually have to talk to Vanini. I always do it because I'm not sure if you have to. Because otherwise, if you don't go back to the hotel here, the next phone will be dead, and you will not be able to grab the Trinity key there. Refresh my Fable. We can also upgrade our weapon to +3 now, because we collected the 4 needed moonstones. Make sure that you have full of your throwables. These are all full, so that's good. Oh, and you can actually skip the technique amulet here and already equip the hunter's amulet that we picked up in the basement of Lorenzini Arcade. Just for the extra ergo that you're going to use for more throwables later. There are very, very few bosses. There's very, very few sections where you can/should use it. But the extra ergo, it helps with extra consumables if you want to have a bit left over stuff. Especially if you're watching this from perspective of not wanting to hitless the game, but like wanting to deathless it or something. Then it's more interesting, I think, to use this, because like you will probably have more defensive parts. You will not be going full hyper mode like you do in Hitless, and then utilizing this for extra throwables that you might be using is a smart thing to do for sure. But we only use it here, and we use it during the Victor boss fight and in the swamp section after, and that's it. We'll never use it again after that. So right now, right here, we don't discharge yet. I puppet string this guy. There is a way to avoid him or from seeing you. I just don't care, honestly. Okay, that's rare. I've never seen that happen, and I'm very concerned now why that happened. That is new. Usually it dies to an R2 and R1 and another R2, but oh well, I guess not anymore. That's cool. You wait for this guy to come out of behind these boxes, and then you throw every single one of your carcass body footballs at him. Just be confident you throw them fast enough, don't worry. Now I discharge usually. And I switch to my thermite, because we're going to kill one ranged enemy with thermite. And then we're going to sprint at another enemy. After we buff our weapon with the electric abrasive. Thank you, Philip, for the follow. I appreciate it. Right here, we throw the 2 thermite. Somehow that missed. Okay, this game is made very well, I guess. Sprint attack, R2. Again, remember that you wait for him to actually start like making the sound before you sprint past him. Because if you sprint past him too early, he will track you around the corner and he will fuck you up. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate it. Currently, I'm trying to do a on-the-run guide for EL10 Hitless. Even though we have already been hit. But we're just going through it. Oops. But yeah, we pick up this quartz down here. As long as you don't wait too long, this guy will not see you. He will take way too long to walk around the tower to be able to see you. We go up here. Now, this guy up here, you can kill him with just 2 throwing cells, but make sure that he's in front of you first, because otherwise they will miss. Now I throw 2 thermites on this guy. Now I have one problem. Because I don't have 2 thermites anymore, I have to kill this one with 2 thawing cells. Unfortunately. And we only have 2 thawing cells left now. We only need 2 more, but yeah, if we mess that up now, it's gonna be troublesome. So, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bait the shield guy over here and return to this spot. And then we're going to listen for when he starts sprinting. When he starts sprinting, we run around this perimeter and back over the big beam. And we're going to trace puppet string onto the right puppet there. See what I mean in just a second. So first we bait him out. Then he starts walking. We wait here. Wait for the sound. There's the sound. And my fucking camera glitched. Nice, dude! Nice! Glad to hear that. My camera fucking bugged. That's cool, that's nice. It's fine by me, dude. That's fun. No, known you for 8 years, you have. You have known me for 8 years indeed. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do this again because this game is being a little bit weird. I wonder if my settings are a bit weird on my camera, because my camera was like moving at different speeds and I don't know why. I do usually have this on 7, don't I? I think I have this on 10 though. It's very stuttery and I don't know why. It just sometimes doesn't even react at all. Okay, that is concerning. Would love to know why. Okay, in this case I need to wait for him to return to his old spot. That over there is just an acid canister. It's not really useful to us because we literally don't have any use for it. My camera feels very audio. Again, it's like not turning, and I don't know why it's not turning. What the hell? There we go. No, I puppet swing to this guy, and I missed for some reason. Now it's important to watch out for that guy above, because he will throw if you miss the first one. He will throw a throwing cell at you, so that's why I was rolling there. We have that acid abrasive, it's very important. We pick up a shot put here. This guy will not hit you, even if it looks like he's about to. He's actually very delayed. We kill this guy with 2 throwing cells. You used to be able to sprint through this door. You are not able to anymore. Now it's a bit later. When he pushes through... Whatever the hell that was. Okay. That's new. I have never seen that before. Okay, you gotta stand more to the left then. I've never seen myself get pushed up by the door like this. That's completely new. Hold on. Oh, the answer here is always egg. What the fuck was that? What? Okay, interesting. Okay, grab him. Another case of the grab R2 R1. I unequip this. If I might, mind controls will let me. There we go. Thank you. We should still be discharged at this point. Tap this twice. Grab our key. This is the last Trinity key that we're going to grab. And now we sprint through all the way to the chest and the ladder. You will not get shot as long as you stick to this line. And you're also gonna get punched by this guy because he is too slow. This is a classic case of why we have our stamina consumption and discharge thing. We grab this collection. And now we go back to the hotel. It's important that you push the ladder down or you will struggle later. Usually now I would go to Polendina and tell him the whole were you in love thing. But since we need to grab some extra paper catalysts, he will already be at the counter again. We just need to give him the supply, the crat box, and then we buy one singular quartz from him because all really interesting things he sells. He also sells that moonstone, but we don't need that one anymore. At least not these crescent versions, like these small ones. If you want, you can buy some extra catalysts, but only if you really need it. Now, the boss that we are about to face is very different thanks to the DLC release. Unfortunately, he was changed a lot. What I like to do is I like to... Oh wait, first of all, with our 2 quartz, we do grab Perfect Guard Fable Charge Enhance 1. As well as consumable effect duration. The consumable effect duration is about our abrasive acid that we're going to use for phase 2. So what we used to do before is we used to use our grindstone acid before going into the fight, like outside the door, and then go into the fight. Unfortunately, you can't do that anymore because now when a cutscene happens, it gets removed. So what we do instead is we start the fight the normal way, which he will always start with a running punch, which you Fable heavy. We could also, if you want, you can actually Fable light attack it and then back away to see what he does, specifically trying to bait out his frantic punches because then you have time to use your acid grindstone safely. First of all, it's important that you make sure that they aren't too close to those barrels, otherwise they will hit you with that spinning move. Now, for amulets, he is not a puppet, and he's not a carcass, so neither one of those count. He's a human. So we use this layout. Yes, this is only 10% more ergo afterwards, but again, we don't have anything else that does anything, so there's no reason to equip anything. Now, I discharge before the fight. And again, I mean, honestly, I think the smartest thing to do on the starting attack is to actually just do a Fable Light now, to then, like, see what does he do, and then we buff, and then we do the normal loop, which I usually do, is being at a distance and waiting for any of his charged attacks, like either him doing the singular punch, or the triple punch, or the jump punch. For all of those, it's just parry him with a heavy Fable. Unless the triple punch, of course, you have to do 3 parries and then you do the heavy. All right, and I don't use any throwables against him really either. You can, but I don't do it really. We do need to use some Fable catalysts. So first things first, we go in, and we're gonna have to do our Fable Light onto him. I'm gonna actually, this is more experimentation right now because I think this might be actually more consistent if I do it like this. Backing away. we go. We have time. Oh wait, okay, this was the singular punch. That's great. I'm glad that he did that. For some reason. It's cool. When you always circle him to the left of us, because then you can, you can always... Okay, he's being very weird right now, and I'm not glad about that. Again, I stay at a distance to... Okay. I'm very confused right now because it's just being very weird, but oh well. We full stagger him, we do refresh our stuff. I use another one here. Only after he hits the floor you can actually queue R2s that you want to do, because otherwise he will be... Oh god, what am I doing? You can just tell I'm not on practice with him. There we go. Now phase 2. We immediately use our abrasive. Dude, I am like so bad, so bad. He doesn't have a triple hit combo in this. You always do a charge shot 2 after you soft stagger him and walk to the left. He will miss it, and you can do 2 more R2s. And then back away. Now, always be careful when he does this, when he does his full stagger after hits, because even if you hit him after, he will at least still do his ground pound. In this case as well, once he hits the ground, that's when you can do the charge shot 2. I was a bit too early there. That's Victor. Again, I did a lot of hiccups in phase 1. The main thing that you should know is to dodge around, from your perspective, his right in phase 1 and towards his left in his phase 2. For the most part, it's not entirely the same. He does have one fury punch that if your position is bad, you cannot dodge it. You will have to Fable parry it, and it's very fast. But you will get the hang of it. Of course, this is one of those bosses where I recommend turning on Infinite Fable, turning on Infinite Health, and just parrying both his phase 1 and phase 2 for like an hour. Just doing that to just practice those parries will make you very good at this fight. Unfortunately, for some reason, this game has gotten a lot more laggy for me ever since the DLC released, so this is also the reason why I'm not running it anymore. I will eventually run it again if I have a better PC, but currently I am playing on the lowest graphics settings and the game's laggy as fuck. And it's not playable for me to do it consistently if I hit less, which is why I don't run it anymore. But yeah, your answer to Simon doesn't really matter, because our humanity doesn't matter too much. I just always say hope of a cure to lie to him. Just for the meme. Hey, Kasusa. Hello, hello. We give her the Golcon food. Are you doing, Kasusa? You alright, just chilling? Noise. Noise, noise, noise. Okay, the swamp. Oh, by the way, we do have to give the Golcon fruit to the 2 stalkers every single time, otherwise we'll have to fight either the black cat or the red fox, or both. If we fight the black cat, we also have to fight the red fox. We want to avoid that, of course. Now, this section is something else. I have a lot of hatred for the start of this fight, for the start of the swamp, because it's very annoying. What we are going to do is, first of all, we need the game to stop fucking lagging like a little bitch. That is step 1. I switch to my grindstone to electric here. And I also switch this to the puppet because at first we're going to be killing puppets. I also put the Legion magazines that we don't have because this is a safe state. Nice. Great. Usually I'll put a Legion magazine here into my consumables because we're going to use it a bit later on because we will not have enough puppet string pulls otherwise. So we literally cannot do that now, so I'm debating to just buy one. I might just buy one now. Which is annoying to have to do, but so be it. I actually have to buy two because in this save state I didn't pick up those two. Yeah, my save states are from an older route approach, so yeah. So don't worry about what I'm doing here. Don't worry about these two Legion arms, Legion magazines that I'm buying. It's just to fill in the gap from the save state. There we go. We just buy two. It's only 280s. It's fine. All right. Now there's going to be a dog that we have to throw two throwing cells at. He can die to one, but it's not guaranteed. So I would always recommend to just throw two, just out of instinct. That's just my recommendation. Because it is a damage range, and it's a higher chance for him to survive one than it is to die from one. So again, we discharge early, just to be able to I like letting this guy walk forward a bit. I always roll it no matter what he does, just because I prefer to do it. It's just... We got 2. Of course, we get locked onto this fucking barrel. Just scary. Now we equip our weapon. And we can puppet string this one once he gets up. Again, have uncharged heavy and a light attack. If you hug this wall and you target him, you can throw a shotgun at his ass, making him walk around. And you can kill him safely. There's also a way to bait him out by like standing at about here and hitting these boxes. That will always also trigger him out. If you don't want to use the shot put and there's puppet string instead, but then you will definitely need the Legion magazines that so we puppet string this one just so he gets up. Heavy attack and a light attack. Next up is one cock spawner guys down there. Watch out for these traps again. We can pick up this chunk safely because the shooter guys up top will take time to do stuff. There we go. He died. Dude, my camera just fucking spazzing out. Nice. Now we get to a very specific, very messy part, which is the tower. I buff right here. We throw a shot put at him again, just like we did with the real one. We sprint and sprint and sprint through. We sprint around the left of this guy. We puppet string him and kill him. That's why we buffed. You roll into this guy to stagger him. And now you sprint through. This is very tight. And if you if you hesitate for even a second, you will get hit and you will get your ass destroyed, unfortunately. That's just how it goes with this tower. The tower is horrible, everyone hates it, and it's just ass. We use Victor's Soul to get the Arm of God amulet. This item's not interesting to us. Usually here's where I use one of my Legionnaire magazines. Because just to make this part safer, I rip this guy. Now, what you can do is you can wait at the specific spot where this guy's going to jump down to attack him without puppet stringing him. I prefer to puppet string him because sometimes you mistime it and it just makes things a little safer. So I just already lock onto him and wait for him to get up. Now, wait for him to land, and then immediately puppet string him. And this is why you will usually need the extra magazine. The 1 extra. I get 2 extra because sometimes I miss stuff. But it's just a safety thing. Realistically, with 1 you'll be fine. Because on this dog that we're going to lock into next, you can sometimes just miss him. And that's why I have 2. And now we also do this. If we didn't consume the second one, we wouldn't be able to do all the, like you wouldn't be able to do another one, another puppet string pull, which is why we did there. Okay, now we can switch to the Carcass Butcher amulet. We can also technically change this to the Arm of God amulet because it just makes you deal a little bit more damage. You can also replace this with the Technique amulet if you want, or just replace this with the Arm of God amulet instead of change the Technique amulet. It's not super necessary to think about it too much. Because for the most part, your damage will be enough. Watch out for this trap right here. A lot of people run into it. Including me. I have run into it. I've lost a run to it. Which is why I usually actually just realized I usually unequip my weapon here. We're gonna see a police bot. We just throw 1 shot put into his face and get a mini stagger off. And then we sprint through. You will be fine. Even though you see him right behind you, you will be fine. Sprint over this. You don't need this off Moonstone, but it's an item to sell for extra money. I'd like to pick it up. This little body here will follow you a lot. Watch out for the trap. But it will stop following you when you reach the wood. Over here. This way it will stop following you. I like to equip my weapon either here or a little bit later. When we are about to enter the caves. But I'll equip it here. I want this guy to walk into the opposite direction like that, because then he's not going to insta-charge at us. We can jump down here. Down here. You can sprint past these. I prefer to roll into them. Just as a safety. But I do sprint past this guy. Now you want your stamina to refresh. Because now you can sidestep to here. And you can full sprint into this little nook. Just sprint attack him. Right here is a thing I do just because of the alternative controller. Because when you cross this, there's going to be a butterfly. And oftentimes when I try to lock onto the enemy that's running at me, I locked onto the butterfly instead and got pushed off the edge, which is really annoying. So I just throw a thermite at him. But it's something you don't have to. I just do it because I like to. You can also throw a cogwheel if you want to. I prefer to throw the thermite because I had actually had it happen of this one just running past the ball somehow. And here we go. We can just switch our lock on. Because you used to not be able to switch your lock on alternative controller. You are able to do it now, but you used to not be able to. And that's why I the things the way I did them. Now here, a specific spot you want to drop down to. If you look above my helmet, right there, that's where you want to sprint. about there. When the ball passes, we sprint down here, and we're gonna land here. We can pick up this extra I-5 if we want to, but this, primarily, the reason why we sprint here is because this is where the ball actually doesn't hit us. And we can then safely wait for it to pass, and then sprint past. Because you don't want to have like a hard landing in the middle of the way of the ball. It's not a fun thing to experience. Sprint past these guys just fine. Oh, I just realized I was discharged. Whoops. Now, it's important to sprint all the way from here, because there's this child robot that will be very aggressive if you do not sprint past. And he can be a horrible enemy to deal with. So I just ran all the way past. He used to chase you a lot further, but due to the II changes from the DLC release, he doesn't chase you as far anymore. You can ignore this guy for now. And we're gonna get an earthquake. And the earthquake will actually block Krat Central Station from now on.
Whoa, an earthquake. That came from the direction of Krat Central Station. Oh, this could be bad, pal.
So everything from chapter 1 and 2 is now blocked. You cannot travel back to it right now. This is the specific trigger that causes it. Let's see if we go... teleport to the Stargazer. Oh wait, no, we still can right now. The second explosion that's gonna happen when we are past the swamp monster. That's the one when Crown Center Station and the other thing are blocked off, basically. Alright, now after doing this, I like to switch this back to this. I do like to keep the Hunter's Amulet on because extra ergo, and we use the electric coil stick again. This is just to get rid of the 2 puppets of the future in the swamp for 2 extra quartz. This is not necessary. You don't have to do this. I like to do it for my comfort, and I feel a bit safer in my route because of it. And we kill them very simple. We don't have to discharge just yet. You discharge when you reach the bottom. Because there's one small spot where you can actually slide down into the swamp without getting hit. You take a lot of fall damage, but you don't die. You will never die there, and you can immediately refresh that health with your pulse. I just do charge attacks on this guy because I will also be hitting the weapon. And 1 light attack and will be gone. There we go. It's our magazine, which we will not need now. Now, I already equipped the carcass body food bots because we're going to use 4 of them in a second. But first, we go right here. You can slide down. Right now, I do, of course, have infinite health on, but you will not die from this fall. And I discharge my pulse cells. And when stepping over this grass, 2 little puppets are going to spawn right here. You don't see the second one. The second one's going to come over the hill. And we throw 2 carcass body fruit bots at them both because they are actually too fast. They are so fast with their hits, they will tickle your ankles and you will die. But we're going to get so much ergo from killing these 2 puppets of the future that, like, it's not even an issue that we use 2 extra carcass body fruit balls. So we bait this guy over here to make sure that he's on land. And the strat for the most part is 2 charge R2s and bail out. For the most part. Depends on which move he does. Let's see, what do I start with? Okay, this one, we can do 3 on this one because it's a slow down punch. Now we move away. Wait for his move. This one we can walk between the legs, just like the one we did within the We can always do 3 here too. I was a bit slow, but it's fine. 1 extra, 2 after that. Riposte. Now here, he will always follow up with a down punch, but that one's actually faster than the other one we saw. So we can only do 2 here. See, it's a bit faster. You can only do 2. Push back away, go back in. You're so fine. Like it's a very chill thing to kill. Now that you don't have the pressure of the poison like you had in the Vanini Works. It's important that you walk more to the right here because there is a small body to the left that can otherwise attack you. We're going to this island and we now bait this guy over. Make sure that he stays on the island because you don't want to fight him in the corrosion. Buff, we can also discharge. And we fight him just the same way because he has the exact same moveset. He is a little different to the one the Vanini Works because the Vanini Works one only stomps once. But this guy always stomps twice. And here you can do 1, 2, 3. You could just stay away from it and you'll be fine. Buff. Now we walk. 1, 2, 3, because it's probably gonna... Nope, never mind. I was greedy there. That's not something you should do. I did 3 because I was sure it would be staggered, but he regenerated too much poise. So yeah, don't do that. 1 extra, repost. Buff, do another R2. Back away. I can discharge here. Plus, if you want, you can repair your weapon between hits to get that extra for max durability damage out of it. If you feel like it. One more time. There you go. That's it. Oh, there we go. There's 2 more things you can pick up here. There is 1 cluster grenade right here. And, oh wait, we already picked up the other thing, right? Yeah, we already picked up the other thing. But yeah, there's 1 extra cluster grenade you can pick up here for later use. I don't have my watch equipped right now. Go back to hotel, and now we use our quartz to prepare for Swamp Monster. Swamp Monster is a very funny thing regarding resistances. So he does count as a carcass, both in phase 1 and phase 2. But his phase 2 is actually weaker to electric than to fire because of the armor he basically puts on. So we are going to use a fire abrasive at the start of the fight. And we're going to use an electric grindstone at the start of phase 2. Let me equip this already. So first things first, we're going to use our extra quartz. And the only throwables I use some throwing cells in phase 2 to get them into to just finish it fast because phase 2 is the one that takes a lot longer. So we go to add Fable slots 2, and what I grab is down here, Fable Arts Attack 2. which adds a little bit of damage to our Fable parries. And the other one I grab is throwing object position limit 2, which will be, like, you can either do this one or you can do this one. Lower weapon durability, consumption of weight increases. Because those two are the last ones that you actually, like, really need. I get 2 extra ones later because we picked up these 2 extra quartzes. But, yeah, you can do this one, you can do the throwing one. It doesn't matter because it doesn't change anything about what is still happening for the rest of the route. Because you're going to get the other ones normally anyway soon, so... Right. I already swapped my grindstone, I believe. Yeah, I have. We are full Fable. Now we get to our amulets. It's the same hyper mode that we're going to be using for the rest of the run. It is Conquering, Extreme Modification, Technique, and whatever damage resistance we need to hit. Which right now is Carcass, so we need Carcass Butch Amulet. So our layout is going to look like this. That is the damage we need. Now I'm gonna put the fire abrasive in here. So we can use that as a start. We can discharge before we go into the fight, of course, and we should. There are 2 openers the Swamp Monster has. Actually, let me get into everything that we need to know about the fight in words, and you can see it executed after. So, fighting phase 1, there are 2 main things. The his starting move is either the Fury Charge or the Dig. If he digs, you can run back to the entrance of the arena and he will not hit you. He will not have the range. If your Fury charges this, you can just forward parry into it with a heavy Fable parry and it will lead to a lot of fucking damage. As for any other moves, there's 2 instances where he shakes his head. When he shakes his head while he's close to you, he's going to be walking backwards by flailing his tentacles in front of him. You can dodge that entirely by sprinting at him while being locked onto him. He will miss everything. The other case where he shakes his head is if he backs up first, then shakes his head, then he's going to be spitting a lot of acid at you. What you do is you just walk around him in a curve, an arc or whatever, and you can do 1 R2 onto him. Just don't do it too early, because the hitbox of the acid is bigger than you think. So he can hit you midair if you do it a bit too early, or a bit at too much of an angle, or too bad of an angle, basically. Then the other moves, he has one where he screams and does a lot of flailing. I personally always just dodge it. I don't even parry it. I just dodge away from it. Then he has different smash downs with big delays, which you can just parry, do the heavy Fable parries, and you'll deal your damage. You'll be fine. Usually, when he gets his mini stagger, you can do a fully charged R2 and it will be a full stagger, which is usually the point where I discharge my pulse cell again because it will have charged again. And then when you riposte, you can do a heavy attack, like a fully charged heavy attack. And he will usually be in phase 2. If it doesn't happen and he's very low health, you can go for 1 extra light attack. If he has a lot of health left, you just wait for another attack and you do a heavy light, a Fable light parry, just to get him over the edge, because you will need a lot of your Fable for phase 2. But you do have Fable Catalyst, Evolved Spell, so it's fine. As for phase 2, the first thing we're going to do is immediately buff our weapon with Electric. And while walking backwards, we're going to be throwing cells. He's going to jump towards us. Or he's going to run towards us. When he runs towards us, we can just Fable parry into his face. It's completely possible. Or if he jumps towards us, we need to just keep walking backwards so he doesn't land on top of us. It's very important. You can actually fail parry it, but it's very hard and it's inconsistent as hell. So I don't recommend it. Everything else, for the most part, is just the moveset of Watchmen, but a little bit different. And I approach it the same way as I approached Watchmen. Anything he does with his right arm, from our perspective, when we look at the screen, is his left arm. Just like the arm we see on our left, basically. Anything he does with that, we just back away from it. We'll fine. We try to stay close to him, because otherwise he can do a few moves that are very hard to dodge. And I don't appreciate... I don't like fighting them. One thing that we do have to know, though, is that his forward arm punch that before we always did a heavy fable on, we cannot do that anymore because he's going to follow up with a tentacle swing. What we do now is we fable light parry it, and we immediately do a hop to the side, to the right, towards his arm. This will put us out of harm's way of the tentacle, and we can also immediately charge up a heavy attack fully to get in some extra chip damage. Everything else about the fight is exactly the same as it was with Watchmen. There is one dangerous attack that the parrying it is super inconsistent and super messy, and that is his jumps in phase 2. Because there's the jumps that he just does to get around the arena, and there's the jumps that he does on top of you. When you see him starting to jump, just run. Just run, get distance between you, because you only can jump a certain distance. And specifically the Fury jump, the other jumps you can dodge, the Fury jump you obviously cannot dodge, and parrying it is very inconsistent, because it has like multiple active parry frames that like overlap, and multiple damage windows that overlap, which means like if you're not in the perfect position and he lands right on top of you, you will get the parry noise, but you will still get hit. He will still like smack you down. It's really messy. It's really inconsistent, which is why I recommend to just run away from it. Okay, that I believe is everything to know. So let's showcase it a little bit. I will try to commentate it while I do it in the run, in the fight, to the best of my abilities. So first we go in and we don't move. We just use our abrasive, and we do not move at all. Wait for what we are going to do. The fatal charge, a few charge. We just parry forward into it. Okay. That is a scary move that he can do. This one, we sprint into him. After fourth swing, we can do a fully charged R2. I just fucking whiffed that. That's hilarious. Okay, that is just beautiful what I did here. Okay, I missed that twice. That's hilarious. Yeah, I missed it. You know what? Let's just redo it. Let's just redo it. Let's redo this fight. Because I was trying to commentate while thinking, and that was just not a good call. Let's redo it. Because if you miss even one of his attacks, his poise gets all fucked, and it becomes a lot less consistent to defeat his face one. So let me just load this. Same layout, everything's the same. Discharged. And do an uncharged R2, not a fully charged R2. This should be full stagger. I just discharge. There we go. Now we switch to electric. Walking backwards. the sprint. He will always jump after this. Let's see what he does. He is very indecisive right now, it seems. Oh my god, I dodged that way too early. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. This is what I mean with the jumping to the side. This is the jumps that you have to run from. Because if he does the Fury jump... I missed that. You can tell that I'm not in practice with this fight anymore. Same as with Watchman, just the timing is a bit faster. Okay, we run. There we go. Light, jump to the side. R2. We can do one shot R2 and then riposte. Of course, I am wrongly positioned because fuck my life. This one, you just need to be at a distance and you'll be fine. Just make sure that you get close again after. There we go. It was a pretty bad fight, but oh well. I got to show at least like almost every single move he does in phase 2. The only one we didn't see is where he like lifts both his arms and then moves forward and steps 2 tentacles forward. You dodge basically when he reached his top point of that movement and dodge forward into him, and you will just that way you will always dodge those tentacles. Now, next up, we're going to just need one shot put. Which we're going to be throwing at this guy right here. That way we trigger him to do an attack, which makes sure that they stay far enough away from us so that we can safely open this door. Because otherwise, yeah, they will be too close. Spin through here. Get the big earthquake. You can use a thing to not get decayed here, but you don't necessarily have to, because this is the only enemy that you really need to worry about. Unequip, and now we sprint all the way to the Stargazer, and as long as you sprint through, you can activate it without the other guy getting too close. You'll see him coming up the stairs in a second there, but as long as you're fast enough, you'll be fine. Now, we need to refresh our Fable, and we might have to buy a few Thorbolts. I'm not sure about the inventory of the save state, so might have to do that. Just gotta always make sure that you have enough. I usually, whenever I reach a Stargazer, and I can tell that all my Thorbolts aren't full, I just go and buy some. There are only very, very, very few instances where I don't do that. If you, for example, know, okay, there's a quartz coming up I need to buy, there is something very expensive that's coming up to buy, which is actually the case here, which is why, under no circumstances, move underneath 20k ergo here, because we're going to spend 20k when we get the next quartz supply box. So right now, I'm still fine, though. It's still full. All good. I'm going to switch my grindstone to fire, because we're going to deal with a fire guy in a second. I'm also going to need a cluster grenade. And a lot of shotguns. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I absolutely wing this every single time. Every single time I wing it. So, we need these amulets. Because we're not gonna parry anything. This is exactly what we need. We can equip a weapon, but we don't necessarily should. So. First thing we're gonna need is using 2 thermite. Right here on this guy coming out. I also discharge usually beforehand. Now you need to walk to the right of this carcass and roll into this guy in the door to stop his explosion on the floor, and so that you can move past him. Because otherwise he will explode underneath you, and that will get you hit, and you will be very sad. And I just somehow pressed the button to use a Fable Catalyst, and I don't know how I did that. Or whatever. And I also stopped too early, and I got decayed by that guy. Mostly because of my confusion of the Fable Catalyst. This also changed my timing, because the guy was moving at a time when I don't want to be moving yet. Wait for this guy to turn around. When he turns around, we can now fall up behind him. I use my fire. We do a charge or two into his ass. And immediately, this and 1, 2 will get him staggered. Discharge, charge or 2, riposte. 1, 2 to be back at this. And there he goes. That's how I personally do it. You can use you can do the Fables beforehand and do another charge or 2. It's really good. But yeah, this is how you get the human damaging one, which are necessary for Luxasia, for Manus, for the Black Rabbit Brother 2, for a lot of things. Now, for now, you will not need your glaive. So I will just unequip it. Make sure that I'm discharged. I am still, so we're fine. Now, there's this robber weasel coming up. You can run away from it. You don't have to fight it. I just get this extra Ergo fragment while walking to the side so that guy doesn't follow me. As long as you keep sprinting, the robber weasel will not be able to hit you. You only have to really dodge this guy. This one will always smack his face down to do his explosion on the floor. You can just ignore that. You just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Make sure that you don't accidentally walk into the explosion of that guy. And right here is the second chance for you to get a cat dust. You got one at top of the rafters in the cathedral. And this is your second chance to get a cat dust, which you will need for one specific moment in the Abbey. Grab out this carry amulet. Put my weapon here usually, because this guy will be coming out. Sometimes both come out. It depends on what the robber weasel's doing, because sometimes he kills them, sometimes he doesn't. It's a bit all over the place. Which one of the two he does? I like to refresh my Fable at the hotel. You can also use Fable Catalysts if you have them in abundance. If you don't, then don't do it, of course. We're still very good on throwables. The only thing we don't have a lot of are shot puts right now. Luckily, we're not going to need any for now. Next time we're going to be using shot puts is against the... fuck. Against the Walk of Illusions, which is the next upcoming boss, but you have time to buy stuff before. So, there is a little mini boss coming up. What you just need to know is to just commit to doing 3 charged heavy attacks, and then your Fable Art, and then charged heavy attacks until he's dead. That's all you need to know, because as long as you don't stray away from that, he will always get his mini staggers and his full stagger, or like his mini staggers until he's dead, and you don't have to worry about it. You really won't. So just trust the process. It's important to have these same amulets. We're gonna be using just 2 thermites in a second. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do this section again real quick because I want to show how it usually works. The only reason why this just happened is because I showed you my talismans. Because this depends on these 2 guys' walking cycle. This only happened because I forgot about that. So you sprint out immediately, preferably, so that you can sprint out here and behind this guy. That's what you want to happen. I just messed this up because I was waiting too long. You can go over here, be fine. Now this guy is the one that needs the 2 thermites. I re-equip my weapon. I discharge. I usually buff at the bottom of the slope, like about here. And this guy, we need to do 3 charged heavies and a Fable Art. Mini stagger number 1. Mini stagger number 2. And he's dead. So don't worry, just do your 3 heavy attacks in your Fable Art. It looks scary, but you will not get hit if you stick to it. And we need to refresh our Fable again, because there is an enemy coming up where you are going to be doing a heavy attack into him, a light attack, and immediately a Fable Art. And then you just do a charge heavy and you're fine. And we need full Fable for this again. For damage reasons, etc. We still don't change our amulets. We stick to the same ones because all carcass enemies right now, it's still the same layout. We don't need to parry, so it's everything we do for now. We do buy some stuff from this guy here in the abandoned apartment because he has actually cheaper throwables. It's always good to have those. Of course, he only has a limited amount, unlike the black market guy. Also, the guy that we just killed at the door, he dropped something called a Legion Plug. The Legion Plug is actually worth 3,000 ergo, which we don't need it for anything else, but it's 3,000 ergo, so it's very useful. So we buy all of this. We buy all of this, all of this, all of this. That's all we buy. Now, there is a specific lineup we do here that is extremely precise. It's very fun once you understand how to line yourself up. So I will try to describe it as best as I can. First we need to get there though. We need to kill only the second crystal, the crystal on the left side of the screen right now. We just destroyed this one. There we go. 1, 2, 3. He will die before he reaches you. The point is not to discharge yet. Like, I'm not discharged yet, because I need to be discharged later on. There you go. Okay, now, what we're going to be doing is we walk to here, and I block, and I line up my pocket that we have next to our lantern with a specific little rock right here on the right side. You see this thing on the right side? This little rock that's now next to my pocket? That's what we line ourselves up with. And now we walk forward until our right leg is on top of, you see the rock at the bottom, like below us right now? This darker spot is had an extension to the right of it. And our foot needs to be on that, which is the case right now. There we go. This is where we need to stand. Now we unblock. We target this guy. And we trace. So we need to hold our puppet string. And we get pulled up. That's how we get through. Consistent. An extra fragment for extra ergo. Now before you step down here, we need to discharge. And buff. One guy's gonna jump down here. We immediately charge attack him. Light attack. This will kill. There you go. Heavy charge attack, light attack, Fable Art, heavy charge attack. Now next up, we have the first encounter with alchemists. And it's a bit special because there is one strategy you can use that I don't use. First of all, we switch to Murder Puppet because we're killing humans. There's a specific spot where you can throw a cogwheel into this room to bait both the alchemists away. I think it's very annoying to learn, and especially for alternative controllers, it's not very friendly for that. So what I do instead is I use 6 carcass bottles on this guy. One thing that's important is that you throw one, and when you hear the impact, when it impacts him, then you start throwing the rest. Because if you spam them all, you're gonna miss one of them. Because of this turning on animation. So we do this. You will die from all 6, don't worry. And now, we spin into this corner here, next to this lamp, right here, which will trigger that guy to stop walking. Once he's at the bottom of the stairs, we poke out, and we puppet string him, do the usual Cha-Cha-Cha-2 and R1 shenanigans that we do. There you go. Hey, Dennis Moyne. Now, when walking through this, there's going to be one enemy at a little staircase, which is why we're going to hug the left side of it. So first, there's an enemy right here that we can ignore. And now here around the corner, we're going to hug the left side and then immediately go to the right. Just jiggle around him, basically. Otherwise, he can block our path and we will be fucked. Right, here's the last crat supply box we're going to grab for the rest of the run. Now we'll just need 2 of these. 2 throwing cells. The thing I just walked over is just a Dark Moonstone crescent thing. Don't need. We throw 1, 2. It's killed him. Don't need to deal with the other one. We push down the ladder. And now we go back to the hotel to now make our weapon +5. Because with this quad supply box, you can buy the big blue moonstones, and they are very expensive, which is why I said earlier that you need to make sure that you have over 20k of runes. A good way to just like make sure that you don't overspend is both thinking about the 20k and to not use the ergo that you get from the swamp monster. Because then you will have enough to buy them and also to and also to upgrade the weapon itself. I have a lot of extra ergo here. Because this right here costs 22.5 thousand. Buy this, and we also buy this. And now we can sell a lot of things. We can sell all our extra fragments we have. We can, for example, also sell these things. We can sell the Legion plug that we talked about. This is an extra backup ergo thing. We can sell the Half Moon Stone that we don't need. We can sell these parts that we don't need. We could sell this electric coil stick that we don't need anymore. We can also sell these, but this don't even mean that much, so it doesn't really matter. She will talk to us about the quest with Aladoro. There we go. +5. We refresh our Fable. Now we gotta make sure that we have enough throwables here. We do. Because the way the Walker works is a bit iffy. So usually, if you didn't do the 2 puppets in the swamp, you will have only 1 quartz right now, and the P-Organ part that we are in right here, this one will be completely empty. And you do not grab Fable Arts. You do grab the throwing object possession limit. If you didn't do the other thing. If you didn't kill the others. I like to kill them because it just makes things a little bit simpler for me. And I just realized I refreshed that without needing to. Oopsie. Now you can go and buy throwables now, or you can buy throwables after the Walk of Illusions. It doesn't matter. What's important is that you don't go in the elevator after Walk of Illusions if you want to buy after. I'm gonna go pee real quick, and then we're gonna do Walker. Alright, I'm back. Okay, let's check real quick. What is our throwable situation? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go buy some stuff. Which one might actually be like the last time we need to buy stuff. So that's good. Because if you go down the elevator after the Walk of Illusions, you will not be able to teleport anymore. So to avoid that, we are buying stuff right now. After we kill Walk of Illusions, if you have enough Fable Catalysts, you can refresh your Fable there, or you can teleport back. No, we're gonna just grab everything somewhat equally. So I'm just gonna buy like a few of these for now. Like a bit over 15 of each of these. And now I'm gonna just check, like, just gonna buy everything to having 20 extra. Gonna buy a few of these. And also a few of these extra. Okay, I got 2 questions. How and why? Hello? Hello, Shadow. Hey, Shy. The HOW is a third-party program called Bowmidi Translator, which translates my piano keystrokes into keyboard strokes of a normal keyboard. So effectively, I'm playing with only a keyboard without a mouse. And the why is because it's funny. Best answer I got. Okay. Now we could actually just spend the rest of our ergo here to just buy more Fable Catalysts. So that we don't have to teleport back to the hotel after we kill Walker of Illusions. So I'm just going to do that real quick. So we have all the throwables we need. Thank you, Shay. I appreciate it. I'm doing fairly okay, Shy. I'm doing a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday I was super sleepy, which is why I cut down this, which is why this guide is going to be split into 3 parts. This second part is almost over. We're going to play something else in a second. Probably going to do some DS1 runs. Okay. For Walker. Walker was changed with the DLC release as well. So now, when you go up the ladder, she will immediately trigger. I don't know why they did this. It's just shit, but we just have to live with it. So what we need to make sure we have is we need to have the acid equipped, the acid grindstone, right here. I played Hollow Knight Silksong yesterday's. As an early beta tester, so worked. You worked for the. Wait, what? You worked for Team Cherry? What? That's crazy. Okay, you can kill this guy up here, or you can just wait for him to walk around the corner so he doesn't see you. Now we need exactly this layout of items. We discharge. I don't want this on my list. We're going to be throwing 5 of these first. We're going to be instantly throwing 5 cluster grenades. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna throw 5 of these. And then 1 of this. Sprint attack. Riposte. Pretty straightforward. Oh, you're coder. Oh, nice. Pretty straightforward. As long as you follow this order, if you don't miss the first shot put, remember the other 3 is fine. Like, you just need to connect 3, or you need to connect 2 very early to make sure that she staggers again. So now we just need to go back to full Fable. While going down here, we can already switch this to this, and we switch this to this. We will have to sit down at the Stargazer anyway to refresh our throwables. There's one thermite here, though, that we can pick up. Right here. There's a moonstone here as well that we can pick up and sell later, but it's not super important. But it is important that we sit here. If you want to save a fire abrasive, you can switch your grindstone to be fire. This is actually a script that I found myself. So the way it goes is we are going to throw 5 cluster grenades. Then we're going to be throwing 5 throwing cells. And then we're going to go for a parry light attack. Always go for the parry light attack, because he has 2 specific starters that he can come at you with. One is him doing just the singular hit, and one is him doing a 2-hit. If he does the 2-hit, you can either dodge the second one and then throw a shot put, or you can Fable parry it and do it with a heavy. And for the most part, things go basically the same. I usually prefer to just dodge it, throw the shot put, and do a heavy charge shot 2, you riposte, do another heavy charge shot 2, the Fable art, because he will be in his animation of spitting an enemy down the floor, and you can just finish him off with R2s and you'll be fine. He cannot hit you. The only instance where you need to do anything, really, besides doing the throwables, is that one parry and the dodge. That's it. That's all you need to do. I changed this? Yes, I did. So, you will have to throw one of these cluster grenades blind without being locked on. So I prefer to just line myself up with them so that I like to wear this hat for it, actually. Specifically. And I go about here. And we try to have my hat on the rightmost of his tendrils. It's very hard to do on piano, but it works, trust me. Right now it doesn't want to, but there we go. Now I am discharged. I use this. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shot put. Shot 2. I didn't riposte properly. That's unfortunate. So I have to deal with him in other ways. My bad. I slightly mispositioned, so I had to finish him off with throwables. That happens. Unfortunate. I was slightly off to the side, so... What you can do to make it safe is that you don't do a charge R2, you can just do an uncharge R2 to get the riposte off and then do everything else after the normal way. Because he will, like, get out of his animation very fast after the Yachacha 2 because of the fire damage. And overall, the overall damage it's stacked, it can clip him out of it very quickly. So, Yeah, be careful. If you are fast enough, you can queue it. But if you want to make it more safe, then just do an uncharged R2 instead of the charged one. Now, that is everything to say to grab the Paint Master, and I'm going to do BRB2, Door Guardian, Lexazia, and Menace, and Nameless Puppet tomorrow. This is going to be it for this segment of the guide. I'm going to upload this to YouTube again, uncut. I will eventually do an in-depth guide with showing every single attack, specifically what to do, and like cut it together, over-commentate it, all that stuff. We will do that eventually, but this is that's all I'm going to do for now, just because I'm doing it for 2 people that like need it right now. So I don't have the time to do the edited version. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one for now. And I'm going to end the recording. And tomorrow is going to be the next part.